सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. So we are reading from a new chapter today, first canto, 6th chapter, which is entitled as Conversation between Narada and Vyasa, and text number 1. Suta uvacha evam nisamya bhagavan devarshehe janma karma cha devarsher janma karma cha bhuyah papracha tam brahman bhuya papracha tam brahman vyasah satyavati sutah Suta uvacha evam nisamya bhagavan devarsher janma karma cha bhuya paprachatam brahman vyasa satyavati sutah. It's not visible. Suta uvacha evam nisamya bhagavan devarsher janma karma cha bhuyah paprachatam brahman vyasa satyavati sutah. Suta uvacha evam nisamya bhagavan devarsher janma karma cha bhuyah paprachatam brahman vyasa satyavati sutah. Synonyms: Suta uvacha, Suta said, evam, thus, nisamya, hearing, Bhagavan, the powerful incarnation of God, devarshehe, of the great sage among the gods, janma, birth, karma, work, cha, and bhuyaha, again, papracha, asked, tam, him, brahman, O brahmanas, vyasaha, Vyasadev, Satyavati Sutaha, the son of Satyavati. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila. Translation: Suta said, O Brahmanas, thus hearing all about Sri Narada's birth and activities, Vyasadev, the incarnation of God and son of Satyavati, inquired as follows. Translation with repetition. Suta said, O Brahmanas, thus hearing all about Sri Narada's birth and activities, Vyasadev, the incarnation of God and son of Satyavati, inquired as follows. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Vyasadeva was further inquisitive to know about the perfection of Naradaji, and therefore he wanted to know about him more and more. In this chapter, Naradaji will describe how he was able to have a brief audience with the Lord while he was absorbed in the transcendental thought of separation from the Lord, and when it was very painful for her. Thus ends the short, beautiful, wonderful, transcendental Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Today is the last Sunday of this year. We will meet again next year. And the will of Providence, we are starting a new chapter, which will continue in the next year. But how wonderful this chapter is, and what wonderful the previous chapter was. And I thought I would do a summary of all the fifth chapter, but I thought it will not be possible in this 1 hour or 45 minutes that we spend on hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya we have to continuously hear. We will find some time for studying this fifth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam more thoroughly, fifth chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam more thoroughly. But today's verse is in continuation with the dialogue that we are seeing between Narad and Vyas. And in the previous verse of the last chapter, the last verse of the previous chapter, Narada Muni had instructed Vyasadeva, please therefore describe the Almighty Lord's activities, which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas, for that will satisfy the hankerings of great learned men, and at the same time mitigate the miseries of the masses of common people, who are always suffering from material pangs. Indeed, there is no other way to get out of such miseries. So there were two words, Bubhutsitam and Adritatmanaha. So it will satisfy the hankering of great learned man, so that is Bubhutsitam, and it will also mitigate the miseries of common people, Adritatmanaha. Sanklesha Nirvanam Usanti Nanyata, and there is no other way to get out of such miseries. And interestingly, in the purport, the last line which we had highlighted in the previous class also, Prabhupada had mentioned Srimad Bhagavatam is therefore not meant for any particular class of men or sect. It is for the sincere soul who wants actually his own welfare and peace of mind. So just to remind us about what we had done in the previous chapter, in the previous class, Prabhupada's instruction, that last line, it is for the sincere soul who wants actually his own welfare. Everybody wants his own welfare, but who really knows what is the actual welfare and peace of mind? Very few actually. So it is for that sincere soul who is not getting carried away by the allurements of Maya and not taking some shortcuts in life to know what really the welfare of his own life is and how to achieve the peace of mind. It is for them. And when this verse was spoken by Narad Muni to Vyasadeva, that please therefore glorify, describe the Almighty Lord's activities, which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas, for that will satisfy the hankerings of great learned men. It's kind of the conclusion of Narad Muni's instructions. Vyasadeva didn't keep quiet. And very interestingly, as we see in this chapter, it's the beginning of a new chapter, and here Vyasadeva is asking this question. On behalf of Vyasadeva, Suta Goswami is telling that this question is going to be asked by Vyasadeva, so which we will see in the coming verses. Evam nisamya bhagavan devarsher janma karmacha bhuyah paprachatam brahman vyasah satyavati sutta. Papracha is to ask. Prachami tvam dharma samudha cheta. So that papracha, he asked. Bhuya, again he asked. Who is asking? Bhagavan Vyasah Satyavati Sutah. Bhagavan Vyasa. Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God, who is also the son of Satyavati. So Bhagavan Vyasah Satyavati Sutah Papracha Bhuyah Papracha. Whom is he asking? Devarshir Janma Karmacha. Devarshir Janma Karmacha Nisamya. So when he heard the wonderful birth and activities of Narada Muni, then Sutta Goswami is telling Nisamya, after having heard, Evam, thus having heard, O Brahmanas, so he's addressing the sages of Naimisharanya, Vyasadev, who's Bhagavan Vyasa Satyavati Sutaha Bhuyaha Papracha. He asked this question. Sutta said, Sutta Uvacha, O Brahmanas, Brahman, thus, Evam, hearing all about Sri Narada's birth and activities. Evam Devarshir Janma Karmacha. Vyasadev, Vyasaha, the incarnation of God, Bhagavan, and son of Satyavati, Satyavati Sutaha, inquired as follows. Bhuyaha Papracha. This is the verse, and Prabhupada in the purport gives a summary of what is going to come in the chapter later on, what we can expect. Vyasadeva was further inquisitive to know about the perfection of Naradaji. Vyasadeva was further inquisitive to know about the perfection of Naradaji because Narad Muni is actually his spiritual master, and therefore he wanted to know about him more and more. In this chapter, Naradaji will describe how he was able to have a brief audience. So this is in future. We are going to see this. Naradaji will describe how he was able to have a brief audience with the Lord while he was absorbed in the transcendental thought of separation from the Lord, and when it was very painful for him. So this is all going to unfold in due course of time, and very beautiful journey of Narada Muni. The title for today's chapter, or today's session is The Necessity of Having a Spiritual Master. So the word necessity needs to be understood first. What do you mean by necessity? Anybody?
Requirement.
Requirement. Okay. Want. When do you want something? Something without which an action cannot be performed. Okay, cannot happen. Okay. Sure. Can you give example of what example?
Something essential.
Something essential. Yes, very right.
Even Sri Krishna Bhagavan had a Guruji to Sandip Maharshi. It's like that.
But do we feel that spiritual master is essential in our life? What you said is right. Do we feel that like food, clothing, and shelter are necessities? Is there a necessity for having a spiritual master? Let's see. Just wanted to give some example of modern life.
Now.
Sorry, there was something happened to my laptop. The moment I spoke about modern life. Okay, but so if you see the modern life, the modern life is characterized by many comforts, and one second. So modern life is characterized by many comforts, but then what is happening is, apart from the comforts that we are getting in this modern life, there are some other perils of modern life as well. So one thing, because of this current pandemic that we are all in, it has become a very normal thing to work from home. Many people are not complaining because you don't have to commute. You can sit at your home and you can work. But when you are used to working at home, what happens is it kind of leads to, which is not always true, but most likely, some kind of a sedentary lifestyle where you develop back pain, neck pain, all kinds of problems, right? Because of sitting in improper way for long hours, or not even bothered about having a proper infrastructure in the form of chair or the right desk. One can have this kind of problems. And think of a person who's suffering from that kind of problem, right? Backache or a neck ache or something. And somebody offers him a solution, a book. Actually, the pain is very excruciating. It's only the person who's experiencing this. It's not physically, he can't see there is anything wrong in that man. But when he's experiencing that pain, he only is knowing what it is. And at that point in time, if somebody offers a help in the form of this book, like Overcome Neck and Back Pain, or something like Back and Neck Health, forget about anybody else. That person who's suffering from that pain, we will read that book very, very seriously, because it is a necessity for him. But if that book is given to someone who's not suffering from that pain, who does not have any experience of what backache or neckache is, he will not read it spiritually. He will not read it seriously. In the same way, in our spiritual life, we are not understanding the necessity of hearing or reading the scriptures very seriously with determination, or applying them in our practical lives. We're not bothered. We don't know really. What is the scripture? It's like those persons who have never experienced backache or neckache. They say, what is this? Maybe, okay, it is there. But we're not seriously, with determination, with a goal of applying them in our spiritual life, in our practical lives. We don't read with that intention. We may read, hear, or even attend classes on Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam regularly, here and there. But unless we feel the necessity of applying this knowledge, the word which Krishna uses in Bhagavad Gita is Jnana Vijnanam Sahitam, then our lives will not transform. Transformation will not happen. There is a very famous saying that says, pages has moved, but we have not moved an inch in our advancement in spiritual life. Maybe you can read, you can also hear, you can give class, you can speak. But as I said, the most important thing is Jnana Vijnanam Sahitam. If you're not serious about applying this knowledge in our lives, then the transformation in life is not happening. And the transformation in life does not require volumes of pages to be finished. Not really. It's not like complete Bhagavatam has to be finished, complete Chaitanya Charitamrita has to be finished, all the books of Srila Prabhupada has to be finished, and then only I can see some transformation in life. No. Even one word or one sentence can change a person's life. Just one word or one sentence. And a classic example of this is that of a devotee whom we all know, Bilwa Mangal Thakur. Right? He heard the advice of prostitute that the eagerness with which you are coming to me, if that eagerness is transformed towards the Supreme Lord alone, He can give you salvation. If you become absorbed in the devotional service of the Lord, the way you are absorbed in thoughts of me, that will do all good to you. It's just one statement. It transformed the life of Bilwa Mangal Thakur. There's another devotee whom when I was searching for Bilwa Mangal Thakur, I got his name. His name is Patanithara. Patinathara. He's from South India. I don't know. Apparently, he heard one advice from his son that when a person dies, even a needle without a hole will not accompany him. Needle with hole is what we know, but assuming a complete needle which doesn't have a hole, that means it's a perfect needle. So he's telling that even a needle without a hole will not accompany one at the time of death. And this changed the complete consciousness of that Patanithara. And he became a great devotee. So actually, in Kali Yuga, it is very rare to find people who are talking about same things from Vedic literatures. It's very rare. Hardly you'll find. And what is the irony is people in this Kali Yuga are also not knowing that for their lives, for their well-being, it is essential to read the Vedic literatures. It is like we saw in the previous verse, Narada Muni is telling, this will mitigate the miseries of common mass of people. So if you want to get relief from the sufferings of material pangs of miseries, you have to take to the shelter of the scriptures. But most of the people talk and discuss about overcoming this material miseries through material ways, material solutions, instead of referring to Vedic literatures, which are specifically meant for human beings. So in that context, we should be so much indebted to Srila Prabhupada for having painstakingly written and translated all these books. Actually, our every moment, we should be very, very indebted to Prabhupada for having given us this. If this transcendental knowledge would have not been accessible to us, there is no question of coming to sanity. There's no question. And in future, as Kali Yuga progresses, as Bhagavatam talks, that there will be no situations where it is favorable to discuss the Vedic literatures. The situations or the circumstances where it is encouraged to have discussion based on Vedic literatures will diminish. So we should be eternally grateful to Srila Prabhupada for every moment of our existence. Therefore, Bhagavatam advises very interestingly, the essentiality of Vedic knowledge through the process of hearing and chanting. If you see this verse from Bhagavatam, it says, Tasmat Sarvatmana Rajan Hari Sarvatra Sarvada Shrotavyah Kirtitavyascha Smartavyo Bhagavan Nena. O King, it is therefore essential that every human being hear about, glorify, and remember the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, always and everywhere. Tasmat Sarvatmana Rajan Hari Sarvatra Sarvada. Remember the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, always and everywhere. Sarvatra Sarvada. This phrase is used in various parts of the Vedic scriptures. And the word which I have underlined is called essential. It is therefore essential that every human being hear about, glorify, and remember the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, always and everywhere. In the purport, very interestingly, Prabhupada talks about some very finer points. Since it has been ascertained that the Lord is the super soul of everything, he should therefore be heard and glorified everywhere and always. That is the special duty of the human being. That is the special duty of the human being. You may have other duties. Do. Nobody is saying don't do. The special duty of human being is that the Lord, Hari, he should be heard and glorified everywhere and always. When the human being gives up the process of hearing about the all-pervading personality of Godhead, he becomes victim to hearing rubbish transmitted by man-made machines. Advancement of technology can hear earlier, used to carry some musical instrument or something. Nowadays, it's all in cloud. This thing online, you don't have to even a wireless. This thing, wired earphones. It's wireless. Whatever. There's all this machinery. He becomes victim to hearing rubbish transmitted by man-made machines. Machinery is not bad because through the machine one can take advantage of hearing about the Lord. But because machinery is used for ulterior purposes, it is creating a rapid degradation in the standard of human civilization. It is said here that it is incumbent upon the human beings to hear because the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam are made for that purpose. Living beings other than human beings have no ability to hear such Vedic literatures. If human society gives itself to the process of hearing the Vedic literature, it will not become a victim to the impious sounds vibrated by impious men who degrade the standards of the total society. As Prabhupada is saying, if human society gives itself to the process of hearing the Vedic literature, it will not become a victim to the impious sounds vibrated by impious men who degrade the standards of the total society. So one of the things which comes in mind is, of course, I told just one word, one sentence, if we apply it in our lives, then transformation happens. That jnana, unless it is transformed to vijnana, it's impossible. It's impossible to, come out not being a victim of this material world. One big doubt comes is why the Lord has to be glorified, why the activities of the Lord has to be heard. What is the reasons? What is the main reason why the Lord's activities are necessary to be heard? There are three verses that I will quote. One is from Bhagavad Gita, one is from Bhagavatam, and the other one is from Ishopanishad, which talks actually in this material world. Forget about the material world, even in the spiritual world, in the creation, there is nothing else that exists without the Supreme Lord. He is all pervading, and it is only He who's there in every aspect of this creation. It's because we are not aware of it. We think why the Lord has to be worshipped, why the Lord has to be glorified, who is He? We're not aware. Let's see from Bhagavad Gita first. This is 11th chapter, 38th verse. So this verse is Tomadi Devaha Purusha Puranas Tomasya Vishwasya Param Nidhanam Vetasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dhama Vaya Tatam Vishwamananta Rupa. Translation: You are the original personality of you are the original personality, the Godhead. You are the only sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You know everything, and you are all that is knowable. Vetasi Vedyam. You are above the material modes or limitless form. This whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. You see the beautiful verse. This is Arjuna praying. You are the original personality, the Godhead, from Adi Devaha. Purana, Purusha Purana. You are the original personality, the oldest, Adi Devaha. Purusha Purana. You are the only sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. Sanctuary is a very beautiful place. It is often used in the Vedic scriptures. If you really want to feel protected, if you really want to feel sheltered, if you really want to feel free from dangers, threats, take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. You are the only sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You know everything, and you are all that is knowable. Vetasi Vedyam. You know everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are above the material modes or limitless form. This whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. Not convinced? Okay, Bhagavatam. This is Chatushloki, one of the Chatushloki verses. Aham eva sam eva agre. This is the first one. Nanyad yat sad asad param. Paschad aham yad etat cha. Yo vashishyete sosmi aham. So Krishna, in this 4 nutshell verses, when he speaks to Brahma, he speaks, this is the first verse. Aham eva sam eva agre. Nanyad yat sad asad param. Paschad aham yad etat cha. Yo vashishyete sosmi aham. Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation. So it is not like creation came and the Lord came into existence after that. No, no. Actually, the Lord, that is why he is the supreme absolute truth, where the ball ends there. It is not like who's the cause of the Lord. He is the ultimate cause from whom everything is coming. So Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself. Nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead. And after annihilation, what remains will also be I. So it is before creation, it was Lord who was existing. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead. And after annihilation, what remains will also be I. Yo vashishyate sosmiyaham, the personality of Godhead. So where is the question of thinking of a creation without the Lord? Where is the question of thinking of our existence without the existence of the Lord? He is there before, now, and he will remain even after annihilation. Ishopanishad, invocation. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. The personality of Godhead is perfect and complete. And because he is completely perfect, all emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, so this is just one of the emanations. All emanations from him, such as this phenomenal world, are perfectly equipped as complete wholes. Whatever is produced of the complete whole is also complete in itself. Because he is the complete whole, even though so many complete units emanate from him, he remains the complete balance. So if you have doubts, these three verses, if you meditate on this, there will be no doubt that actually without Lord, nothing in this world is possible. But very foolishly, very immaturely, we think we are the doers. We are the proprietors. We have everything. Prabhupada gives one example, very interesting example of that of a bullock cart. The bullock cart, when it is going, bullock cart when it is going, a dog comes in the middle of two bullocks, and the dog is walking along with the bullocks, and the dog is thinking, because of me, the cart is coming, and he's going with that understanding. Similarly, we also in this material world, we come for a temporary time, and there are certain resources which are given to us for a temporary time, which we use it, and we think we are the ones. I'm the doer. Kartaham iti manyate. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Rasoham apsu kaunteya pravasmi sasi suraya pranava sarva vedeshu sabda ke paurusham nushu. Sabda ke paurusham nushu. So he's telling Rasaham apsu kaunteya, the Lord. How do you perceive the Lord? And in this, there is a very interesting thing which he says. Rasoham apsu kaunteya. When we are drinking water, that taste of water which quenches our thirst is Krishna. Pravasmi sasi suraya. The sunshine and the moon sign that we are seeing, sunshine which gives us vitamin D, which gives the vitality, moon sign which nourishes the vegetables, know that to be me, Krishna says. Rasoham apsu kaunteya, pravasmi sasi suraya. Pranava sarva vedeshu. When we chant any mantra, we chant with Omkara. Know that Omkara to be me. Pranava sarva vedeshu. Sabda khe paurusham nushu. Sabda khe. Clap. There is a sound which is produced. The sound which is produced, we can't see it. But Krishna is telling K in this ether, whatever that frequency which is present, which is producing the sound is me. Sabda khe paurusham nushu. And the ability in the man is also me. So the ability in the man is me. The resources which are given, this material creation which is given is also by the Lord, yet we falsely consider ourselves to be the doers. Kartaham iti manyate, like the dog who's walking along with the bulls. That is the reason. That is why the scriptures are telling Sarvatra Sarvada Hari Sarvatra Giyate. That is why the glories of the Lord has to be broadcasted always, everywhere. Now the question is, very interestingly, there was a picture which just went by, improperly placed, but I'm sure you know this one. This is the conversation which is happening between two exalted personalities, Kapila Dev and Mother Devahuti. Like we are seeing this conversation which is happening between Narada Muni and Vedavyas. There's a very interesting point in the conversation, which now, that's why there is a transition which is happening between the chapters. It could have continued in one chapter, but there is a very specific reason why there is a transition. So Narada Muni has stopped at a point where he's telling that you should glorify the Lord, directly glorify the Lord. You should basically write Srimad Bhagavatam. That is his instruction. But Vedavyas is inquisitive to know something, what happened to Narada Muni in his previous life, because he has perfected his life. He wants to know that further. Something similar to this in this wonderful conversation between Devahuti and Kapila Muni happens. Let's see that. This verse is spoken like here, Sutta Uvacha, that is Maitreya Uvacha. Though the conversation is happening between Narada Muni and Devahuti. On behalf of, because this is a conversation which is Maitreya talking to Vidura. So it is changing there, Maitreya Uvacha. So what is Maitreya saying? Iti swamatur niravadyam ikshitam nisamya pumsam apavarga vardhanam. So the word nisamya is finding a mention here, which is there in this verse also. Dhiya abhinandya atmavatam satam gatir babhasa ishat smita sobhitananaha. Translation is, Maitreya said, after hearing of his mother's uncontaminated desire for transcendental realization, the Lord thanked her within himself for her questions, and thus, his face smiling, he explained the path of transcendentalists who are interested in self-realization. We know the process of acquiring transcendental knowledge from Bhagavad Gita. What is the process? What is there? What are the three things?
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam.
प्रणिपातेन परिपृष्टेन सेवया.
सबका अपना अपना परपट है. श्रवणम कीर्तनम स्मरणम. और कौन बोला श्रवणम कीर्तनम? कौन बोला प्रभु? Shravanam Kirtanam is there, but the process of acquiring transcendental knowledge is directly given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. First, you have to find a tattvadarshi spiritual master. Approach a bona fide spiritual master who is coming in parampara. But approach him submissively. Tad vidhi pranipatena. Pranipata is to just bow down completely or with submission. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena. Inquire. That spiritual inquiry is what I'm trying to highlight. It should not be satiated. That should be our constant trigger in our life. That should be our constant motivating factor. I should inquire. I should find out what's going on in this material world. What is this spiritual world all about? What is my spiritual life? And who can give this knowledge to me? Who can give this? The process is defined by the Lord himself, that you approach a Tattvadarshi spiritual master, a person who self. Prabhupada was able to give them personal instructions, but as the organization grew, Prabhupada created a system of following the authority. A temple is run by certain authorities, and when it's not a personal thing. it's a transcendental system where somebody is given certain responsibilities to, and certain people, and the other people are supposed to follow that, because this is Prabhupada's system. So if somebody is appointed, is given a position of a temple commander or a temple president, and there is a way that Prabhupada had envisioned that this is how it should go, one has to do this. There is no question asked there. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never questioned, why are you asking me to chant Hare Krishna mantra? I am so expert. Well, you may be expert, but the whole thing is how we engage our free will, how we, instead of doing things independently, how we do the things which is assigned to us with great faith. Not just receiving the instruction, also following the instruction. There is no question of asking, well, I know it better. I can show you, I can do it. That is where the problem lies. That is where, and that one lack of subordination to, because why are we here in the spiritual world, first of all, in the material world, is because of the same problem. The problem of becoming Lord, trying to control, becoming independent. That's how we are here. And if we continue that same tendency in spiritual life also, thinking that I know everything, I don't need to surrender, then this is not the place. This place is meant for rectification, for curing our material disease. And for curing that, Prabhupada has created this wonderful system. When we follow this system, when we have implicit faith in the system, things work. We make progress. We make proper spiritual progress. So with this, I'll stop. Sorry for the inconveniences, the thing that it went off 2-3 times. I think we didn't even record for some time. Any question anybody has? And this is not the first time you see like that. Actually, Vyasadeva has been addressed as Bhagavan before also. Even Narada Muni sometimes is addressed as Bhagavan. Bhagavan, because he's a literary incarnation of the Lord, who came for particularly executing this task of, writing these Vedic scriptures. So it is not possible for ordinary people to write like that. It's an empowered incarnation. That is why the word Bhagavan is used. Any question? Actually, the principle of receiving spiritual master is based on the seriousness that one has, the disciple has in his heart. When a person becomes serious, sincerely desirous of meeting the Lord, he finds that kind of a spiritual master, like it happened in the case of Dhruva, where he came in touch with Narada Muni. So if somebody is genuinely concerned, genuinely serious, that's how the spiritual master intervenes in that person's life. If somebody is not okay, kind of serious, that kind of spiritual master also. But having gotten the spiritual master, whatever doubts one has before that, that is, you can, as long as you've not accepted, that is fine. Once you have accepted the Tattvadarshi spiritual master, his words are to be taken as life and soul. Life and soul means your soul is, it's like, it's my everything. Life and soul cannot be separated. So the words of the spiritual master have to be taken like that. that seriously. So one has to receive that with that mood, that is, I have to execute, and also execute that, both the things. Actually, the output of that verse is very interesting, but fortunately I couldn't. But we'll see that in some other time. Any other question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my
Hare
humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada.
All blessed.
I do not have any questions, Prabhu, but thank you so much for forwarding the session today and helping me engage myself in this association. With you all great devotees. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Prabhu.
Thank you for joining. I don't know if you joined in the beginning, but there were some interruptions. I'm sorry for that. There were some technical glitches. I don't know why it happened, but yeah, we just couldn't do it properly.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, no other questions. We'll stop here. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki,
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Well,